Hello, middle school and high school students, 7 through 12. It is week 8. Can you believe it? Week 8 of this quarter. Wow, how time flies. So, I want to welcome you here today and wish you well and hope that everything is going um, well, that you're healthy, and that you have been using your self management skills to get you through some of these down times and rough times that you are going through. Today, I want to start our remote learning time out with some corny jokes. And warning, they are corny. These jokes are corny. So don't be like, oh, Miss Pleasure, that was so stupid. It's supposed to be stupid. It's a corny joke. So, my first corny joke is what do you call a pig that does karate? What do you call a pig that does karate? Hmm. Drum roll. A pork chop. A pork chop. Ha ha ha. Corny joke number one. Corny joke number two. What did one math book say to the other math book? Hmm. What did one math book say to the other math book? Drum roll. I sure do got a lot of problems. I sure do have a lot of problems. So those are your corny jokes for this week. Hope you enjoyed them. And you can always find corny jokes in like online or YouTube. There's a ton of corny jokes out there. They're just to, to make you chuckle, put a smile on your face, and kind of be silly for a minute. So now we're gonna do a check-in, as we always start our time with a check-in. And today I have our scale, our 1 to 10 scale. I like the scale a lot because you can give yourself a number and know. So I'm gonna start first, and I'm gonna say today I'm at a 1. I am feeling a little silly, hence my silly jokes that I started off with, my corny jokes. So I am at a 1. So just take like 10 to 15 seconds and just check in with yourself, with others around you, and just find out where you are on this scale today or today as we will start this remote learning time. Hope you had a little time to just reflect on that. Now, let's just take a couple deep breaths. Deep breath in and out. In, out. One more. That just always kind of helped my self regulate, the heartbeat lower, and just to come and get my thoughts together where we're going to go next. So, as I stated before, this is week 8 of our social emotional learning competencies, and we are on competency 3, which is self management. I say 3 because it's our third one. And sorry, I said 3. It should really just be 2. Self management competency 2. And we're just going to review this week because we have learned a lot of stuff within the self management competency, a lot of tools, techniques. And so I just want to take some time to review and reflect on what we have learned before we move on to actually what would be our third competency next week. So I'm going to start first with our video just to give us some little review background.
One of the five core SEL skills is self management. Self management can be described as the ability to manage your own thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and stress. Managing stress is an important part of self management. Young people must be taught effective coping skills to help them effectively manage their own stress. Stress can cause strong and deeply felt reactions in both adults and children. Signs of stress in children may include stomach pains, headaches, changes in behavior, mood swings, sleep problems, and difficulty concentrating at school. But here are 6 tips to manage and reduce stress. Stop, take a deep breath, visualize something peaceful or enjoyable, and try to relax for a few minutes. Find an acceptable outlet, such as exercise, getting involved with your favorite hobby, and sports. Distract yourself from continuing to think about the traumatic event. Call or text a friend, play a video game, or participate in an enjoyable activity. Stay healthy. Start and keep a good exercise routine. Also, be sure to maintain healthy eating habits at home and at school. Don't forget to maintain healthy sleep habits too. In general, 6 to 12-year-olds need about 9 to 12 hours a day, and 13 to 18-year-olds need 8 to 10 hours of sleep per
8 to 10 hours.
Talk it out. One of
Junior
the most
high,
important and effective
high
ways to deal with
schoolers.
stress is by talking to someone about your problems. An easy way to lower stress is by taking brain breaks. A simple brain break is to listen to 2 or 3 of your favorite songs that help you to vibe out and relax. Reflection questions. What is something that stresses you out? How do you typically deal with stress? Can you name a friend or family member who you can talk to when you're stressed? What is it about this person that helps you feel better when you're stressed? Can you name 1 or 2 things that you can do in the future that help you calm down the next time you're stressed out? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and be sure to follow us on social.
So he talked a lot about things you can do, those tools that you can use when you're stressed. And one of them was a brain break. So I'm going to quickly show you a really funny brain break that can be done at any time at your seat or any time. This is called the index finger and thumb switch. And I'm just going to tell you right now, I am not good at this, but it's funny and it helps to make me refocus and get my right and left brain back together.
This is brain break number one. You will switch your index finger with your thumb on the command of switch. Ready? Switch. 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 Now show me how you can practice by going as fast as you can on your own.
So that's a brain break. And it is definitely hard to do. So practice, but it's a fun way, or sorry, it's a fun way that you can kind of just come back into a space when you're stressed out or anything. So taking the thumb, finger, and doing the whole switching. And I'm not really good at this, so don't laugh at me, but anything like that. Or you can do where you switch your pinky. So you're going to do a switch, pinky, finger up, finger. Yeah, I'm not good at it, but it's kind of funny to do. So again, we are going to do some review of our self management competency. So we started with talking about our brain and how our brain is often affected when we are stressed, when we're upset, and why does that happen? Like, why do we go into this fogginess? And so, backing up, we're going to talk about again our upstairs and downstairs brain and how our brain stem controls all of our normal functions like breathing, our heart rate, the speed of our heart, pumping blood through our body. But then you have your amygdala, which is your emotional part of the brain. And then you have your prefrontal cortex, which is your thinking part of the brain. So when we become upset, we were here in the beginning where we were able to think and be able to do everything, but then we moved down to our downstairs brain where oftentimes we do what we call the flipping your lid. You guys remember that? Flipping your lid. It's the hand model where, again, like they said, your big feelings are right here in that amygdala area, limbic system. And then you have your um, prefrontal cortex. So what happens is it's like when we were up in our upstairs brain, we're like this and everything is connected. You see how it's connected? My hand is tight. I'm able to learn and think. But then when we start to get upset and everything is like um, on me and you feel pressured and you pop, you flip that lid wide open. So we have to figure out how to reconnect. So we're flipping our lid when we become upset. So what do we need to do when we actually flip our lid? That goes to our next part of are those regulation skills. What do we do to help calm ourselves down? So we created a list of calm down strategies. We talked about having um, the fidgets where you have things in your hand. We talked about heavy pressure, like wall push ups, chair push ups. Here's a list. You can always take in those deep breaths in, counting to 10. You can write and journal. You can use imagery like going to that place of happiness that makes you feel happy and puts a smile on your face, talking to someone, taking a break, taking a walk, exercising, getting a drink of water. There are so many ways that you can use to regulate yourself, to calm yourself down. And so through this whole self-management piece, I have been going through different ways and trying to throw in ways that you can use calm down throughout your day and every day. So those self-regulation tools are really important. So then we went from there, and then we talked about another strategy that can be used all in itself, and it's that think strategy. So again, we have think before you speak. Before you speak, think. Think is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? And is it kind? Our think strategy. And we made posters and created times when we thought that the think strategy would be most helpful. So remember, think. Is it true? Is it helpful, inspiring, necessary, and kind? And if they are, speak it. If not, rethink and think about something that will be more helpful at the time, or maybe this isn't the time to do it. And lastly, we went over SMART goals. And in doing these SMART goals, we talked about long-term and short-term goals and how long-term and short-term goals are ways that also help you to self-regulate because you're preparing and planning for the future and what is to come next and how you can handle that and how to accomplish what you want to do. So remember, our SMART goals are specific, they're measurable, attainable, relevant, and they are time bound, time sensitive. So putting, and when we say specific, we mean not saying, hey, I'm going to ride a bike today and you don't know how. You have to say, I want to learn how to ride a bike and I want to learn how to ride a bike by December 15th. And how I'm going to do it is I'm going to get on a bike 3 times a day and try to ride it or whatever that might be. So, is it attainable? Do I have a bike right now or do I need to borrow the bike? So those are things you need to think about when you're doing your SMART goals. And so all of these things we've talked about during this self management time, it's very important. It's one of my favorite topics to talk about. I don't know if you guys can have been able to tell that, but self management is about ownership. It's about taking responsibility for yourself and understanding that I'm going to have these feelings. Things are going to make me mad, upset me. I'm going to get stressed. But how do I deal with stress? Because there's good stress and there's bad stress. We all need stress in our lives. But how? How do we deal with it? So I just want to challenge you guys as we get about to close here in just a minute to practice all of these self management strategies, all of these things that we've been talking about. Take a minute every day to think about, have I really done this? And if not, figure out how to work it back into your schedule. So, junior high and high schoolers, I want to close with a grounding exercise. This is another way, another tool that you can use in your toolbox to help you regulate. So, I want you to, sit upright in your chair, put your feet on the floor, take a couple deep breaths in, look around the room that you're in, and just become one with the room around you. And I'm going to ask you to quietly name 5 things that you see in the room, 4 things that you feel, 3 things that you hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. Take a deep breath in and out. In and out. And see, just taking a moment to recognize what is around you and your environment can regulate you. So as we close, I want you to remember that self management is about regulating yourself and it's about ownership of you. So I thank you and I'll see you next week in week 9. Also, look up some corny jokes. See you later.